Hello everybody, this review is for a game called RED7, an excellent card game for 2 to 4 player that takes approximately 5 to 10 minutes, depends on how many rounds you decide to play. In this game basically the idea is to be the last man standing by having the best card in your pallet at the end of your turn. It will make more sense in just a second. The game comes with 49 cards total that you will deal 7 and only 7 to each player, where players do not replenish their hand while playing the game, so some cards will be basically out of the game. The cards consist of cards from 1 to 7. Let me see if I can get a focus here. Cards from 1 to 7 in different colors, where violet basically is the weakest, red is the highest. So basically 2 red is a stronger card than, let's say, 7 green, etc. Something like that. Alright, so we put, let me focus again. The game goes by having a set of rules in the middle of the table, which the first rule is always this one, which indicates that, let's focus again, you are currently playing a red, highest card wins. Basically the highest cards in someone's palette on the table wins the current round. Let's focus again. Alright, so when we place that at the middle of the table is set up for 2 players, and whomever has the highest card at the beginning of the game, the other person begins, which means whoever has the highest card wins this type of rule, and the next player begins the next round. Which in this case we can see that actually yellow 2 is stronger than green 3, which means yellow wins, and therefore this player gets to play to start the game. Now, what this player can do is either look for a card in his hand to either continue and obey by this rule, which means he will have to either place down in his palette here, add a card that will be stronger than a yellow 2. So it should be either yellow 3 or any number, orange or red. Let's take a look and see here. So this player has, again focusing, he has a 2 orange, a 4 indigo, a 5 orange, a violet 4, etc. So in order to win this rule, the player needs to place, let's say, they can place something higher. They can go in as easy as a 6 yellow. And like I said, you do not replenish at the end of your turn. You do not, you keep your cards hidden, not visible, but for the purpose of the game, we're going to keep it visible. Now it's this player's turn, which again, they can follow the rule, or they can actually change the rule, and at the end of the turn, whatever card they put down has to be the best card that follows that rule. Let's see if we can change the rule just for sake of explanation. Alright, so as you can see in this player's hand, again focus. Alright, one of my actions, one action only, is either to place a card to follow the rule or change the rule by placing a card in the middle. And as you can see, there's rules on the side of each card, which if we take a look, this guy for example, the rule will be most of one number. So that would be, for example, if I had more 2s, let's say 3 2s, and the other player has, let's say, 2 4, that qualifies for me having most of one number. Most even cards, if I have, let's say, 2, 4, and 6, and the other player has, let's say, 2 and 4. So I have 3 cards of those, etc. But for the sake of this turn, let's see if I can just like show. Alright, most even cards. Let's use most even cards. So what I do is place the new rule this way on the table, and then I can add any other card that is basically would follow that rule. So I have two cards that are even. This person has only one. So I put the best card that follows the current rule. Now, the next player, he can either follow the same rule or put a new rule. Now, the challenging thing here that they have, that this guy has, is if they place, let's say, this card here. He has a 2 and a 6. Now what happens in the case of a tie? This person has two cards that are even numbers, and this guy has two cards that are even number, which in that case there's a tiebreaker. Whoever has the highest card, one of them has to be a higher card, which this guy has a red 2, that in its combination is basically stronger than this one. So this player cannot put this card in there, so he has to go with something better, which they can. This 6, if it would have been red, that would have been good. So it doesn't seem like this player can actually follow the current rule, so they have to change the rule. If they cannot change the rule, or they cannot basically put any a best card by the end of their turn, they're out of the round. Let's see. Well, I can put most cards in a row, and then any cards that I want. And at the moment, this player has 3 cards, which is more cards than this player. And etc. it goes. Now, like I said, whenever somebody cannot obey and follow a rule in any way and they are forced to pass, they're out of the round. So if it's a 2-player game, the moment that happens, the other player wins. If it's more than 2, if it's, let's say, 4 or 3 player, you just keep going until one person leaves. The game comes with 2 cards. At one of them is an easy charge to help you understand the strength of the cards. Another one is a turn option guide that I just picked up from the floor, which again, you pick up one of the options. One of them is play a card from your hand to your pallet, which this is again your pallet right here. The other option would be, as soon as I can focus, is discard a card from your hand to the canvas, which is in the middle of the table. And then, oh, sorry, the second option is just to discard a card to change the rule. And as long as you have a best combination, you don't have to put any card. Or the third option is to play a card from your hand to your pallet and discard a card to the canvas. So you must play to your pallet first, and then you will be winning the new colors game. The last option would be to do nothing and pass, in which in that turn you will be losing the run, or I should say you're out of the round. If there's more players, they're gonna keep playing until one person stays. Focusing, alright. This game comes with an advanced option. Once you get familiar with the basic version, it comes with a set of rules. Each card comes with certain icons on here that this reference guide help explaining. I haven't played yet the advanced, but it's pretty self-explanatory. It's straightforward. Once you play a card, you take a card from another player's palette and place it face down on top of the draw deck, etc. This is easy enough to understand. And this is really basically the game. It's a fun game. A quick game can be a very good filler game. But once you try and play, you'll find yourself playing it over and over again because it's a very quick game. I wouldn't mind spending a whole game night just playing this game. It comes with a very neat rule book. Quick, short, and easy to understand. And that's it. This is RED7. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please subscribe and like the video, share it. Sharing is caring. That would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.